Hello everyone, my name is Tom Zobel and I am an RMM admin here at ProVal Tech, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up your branding and also troubleshoot why it may or may not be working as you are expecting it to. So ConnectWise Automate lets you set up quite a few branding options with regards to the agent that's going to be on the computers that you manage, so that when users happen across pieces of the ConnectWise Automate application, when they hover over the icon or if they happen to be looking at the services, they reflect your name instead of ConnectWise, which is a good little piece of brand familiarity that you can establish for yourself as their IT provider. So the system that drives the branding for the Automate agent is the agent template. And the agent templates control a lot of pieces of how the agent actually functions. But to look at those settings, we're going to go under Automation, Templates, and Agent Templates. And there's quite a few in here because this is our test environment. You very likely have one in here called Defaults. This, in a normal Automate instance out of the box, will have most of the default settings for the Automate agent. If we drag it over here and we go to the Branding tab specifically, you can see the things that we are doing here. So we'll briefly talk about what each one of these guys are doing. So the tray text is going to be what happens if you hover over the Automate icon in the system tray. Mine looks a little bit different because I am not actually in this test environment here. But if a user were to find your icon in the tray and hover over it, this is what would be displayed. A cool little side note here, this %, computer name %, and %, computer ID %, do work, and that'll be replaced with both the computer name and the computer ID once these settings are in place and working. So if you are working with a user on the phone, you can have them hover their mouse over top of that agent, and if you want to guide them to help you find their computer name so that you can get access to their system a little bit quicker, this can be a very good shortcut for doing so. The service display name is what is going to show up in the services menu. You can set a custom tray icon here, and then these two options here. Show icon on the tray is what either shows or hides that tray icon. Some MSPs may opt to completely hide the fact that this automation agent is in place, and disable the powered by in about. So in the tray, if you right click the agent and go to the about menu, there will be a powered by ConnectWise Automate, and they also let you disable that completely so that there are effectively no user facing references to ConnectWise when you are going through. So the important thing to understand here is that you can put these settings into a template, but this does not do anything unless this template is actually, these settings need to be enabled here on the right-hand side. You need to check the box for these. And the reason this is because templates are meant to do many different things. You might have a template where these are the only settings that you are specifying, and you might have another template that is meant to overwrite some of these settings. So the important thing to understand is that these templates are applied in a layered approach to machines. Templates are given a priority, and certain templates can overwrite certain settings of other templates based on their priority and which settings within the template are explicitly enabled. So that's the important thing to understand, is that this is much like a GPO where there are going to be multiple that apply to the agents, and they are going to be given different priorities that ultimately determine the effective outcome of what happens on the machine. So the other important thing to understand is that these templates are applied via the group system. So if we close out of here and we go into groups, we'll find one of the built-in service plan groups, such as Manage 24/7 for servers. And you can see that this group here is applying the Managed 24/7 template with a priority of 7 to all machines that are in here. And we're not going to be diving too much into the Ignite system, but the important thing to understand is that this is one of the ways that an agent can receive, or the primary way that agents will receive their templates is by the groups that they are a member of. So what I like to do, if you're trying to troubleshoot why a machine may not have the settings you are looking for, is to work backwards from one of the machines that you know is not working. So let's go to an example machine that I pulled up here. And I'm going to navigate back to here real quick. Let's go to kind of the main computer window first. So when you first double click on a machine and open up the computer management window, you're going to see tiles similar to this. What I'm going to recommend you do is give this a second to load here as it's detecting the roles. doing a lot of SQL in the background there. We're going to right-click on this gear icon in just a second here as it's finishing loading the rest of its stuff. Yeah, right-click the automation icon, which is the gear, and then go to Effective Policy. Now this is also going to take a second to load, so I just want to quickly sing the praises of Effective Policy. This is one of the best tools in the system for starting to understand the underworkings of Automate and figuring out why something may or may not be happening to a machine. We're going to use it today specifically to troubleshoot the template settings, but you can see every group that the agent is a member of. You can see all the remote monitors, the internal monitors, the schedules that are applied, the scripts, as well as which groups this machine is a member of that is applying those things. So if we go through here on the groups page, and we just kind of thumb through the list here by using the down arrow key, you can see all of the different groups it's a member of, as well as the template that it applies to these machines. So you can use that to figure out the group membership of the machine and how that affects which templates are ultimately getting applied. But now if we go to the actual templates setting here, we can see every single template that is applied to the machine, the priority that it's being applied with, and finally the current computer config. So we can see if we click on, for example, manage 24/7, we can see that this is not really specifying too many settings. Branding test template, you can see that this is one that we must have created at some point, but the settings that were enabled in this template were show the tray icon enabled, disable powered by is true. And then the important thing to note here too is the priority system in parentheses right next to the name. So think golf scores for most of Automate when you're going through. So this branding test template is going to overwrite any settings in this default template. And in this default template is where you can see all the branding that's been specified. And then if you want to see the cumulative effective policy by way of all of the template settings being applied, click on current computer config. And this is going to show you every setting that is in place. So when you are troubleshooting backwards, you find a machine that is not set up the way that you would like it to be, open it up in Automate, go to the effective policy, and then navigate to the current computer config. Everything you see in here should match up exactly with what is happening effectively on the agent, and then it's just a matter of finding out which templates are overwriting other templates with the settings you don't want, and then either deciding whether or not you need to modify those templates or potentially modify the group membership of the machine if there's an instance where the machine is getting a template that it no longer should have, or it's getting a template at a higher priority than another template. So that would be where I would begin to troubleshoot those branding settings. But yeah, hopefully you found this helpful. Yeah. My name is Tom Zobel. Once again, thank you very much for watching. We post new videos weekly to share our knowledge about Automate, and to learn more, please visit provaltech.com. There's a link in the video description below.